When I was 14, my parents got divorced. Dad went off and started a new family with someone else. Even had a son to carry on the family name. Mom remarried an old classmate who helped with her divorce case. She threw all her motherly affection into her stepkids. And me. I was left without a family. Years later, my parents came back, expecting me to take care of them in their old age. I sent them to the cheapest nursing home I could find. I told them, now you can take care of each other. They were stunned. Clara, how could you do this to us? They pleaded. I just smiled. You sent me off to boarding school back then. Now I'm just returning the favor by sending you to a retirement home. Fair trade, right? Clara, see that woman sitting at the front desk? That's Carrie, the one who seduced your dad. Go in there, call her a homewrecker, say she's shameless, push her over when she's not looking, or even hit her if you have to. As long as she has a miscarriage, she won't have a son, and your dad won't want a divorce. I was so shocked I couldn't even speak, just shook my head furiously. Mom had unexpectedly picked me up from school today, and this was her plan all along. You're just a kid. Nothing will happen to you, she said, her cold hand gripping my arm tightly. Clara, do you really want Dad and I to get a divorce? For the sake of me not wanting a second child just for you, help me out. I'm begging you. Her voice was choked with emotion, her eyes bloodshot from lack of sleep ever since she found out about Dad's affair and the other woman's pregnancy. My heart fluttered with unease. Yeah, Mom didn't want another child because of me. But I was suddenly shoved heavily from behind. Caught off guard, I stumbled into the room, falling at the woman's feet. Our eyes met, and she looked startled. Mom's silhouette flashed at the doorway. I bit my lip, flipped onto my knees in front of Carrie, and grabbed the hem of her dress. Please give my dad back. Mom and I can't live without him. She screamed, who are you? What's this nonsense? Stammering, I replied, stop pretending. You know I'm Felix's daughter. Carrie, what's going on? Someone approached the desk, surprised to see me kneeling. Carrie's face turned pale. Stop causing a scene. Where's security? I fought back the shame, refusing to get up. More and more people started crowding around. Panicked, Carrie kicked at my knee, desperate to get rid of me. The pain made me let go of her dress, causing her to lose balance and fall heavily. Carrie lay on the ground moaning. Security arrived, forcefully pulling me up and pushing me toward the exit. Amid my struggles, I saw Dad in the crowd. The instant our eyes met, he quickly turned away. Desperate, I yelled out, Felix, Dad, can't you come home? Mom and I miss you. The onlooking crowd fell silent, as if someone hit the mute button. Dad's back stiffened, humorously frozen in his stride. Whispers rose around us, eyes flicking between Dad, Carrie, and me. Even an idiot could piece things together. Clara, what are you doing here? Dad's face was stormy, marching toward me. Seeing this, the guard let go and sidestepped. What followed was a resounding slap. My cheek burned, a metallic taste of blood filled my mouth. It hurt. His grip replaced the guard's, ironclad around my arm, dragging me outside. Then a sharp scream from behind. Carrie, you're bleeding. Dad froze. When I looked back, blood trickled down Carrie's leg from the shoe she kicked me with moments ago. Dad pulled me out of the office. Clara, get out. For Dad, who came from a humble background, pride in having a son meant everything. Too bad I ruined both today. In his eyes I saw pure hatred. A shiver ran down my spine. I always knew Dad didn't really like me. Growing up, he rarely hugged or played with me. Parent-teacher meetings, school activities, family gatherings with classmates, Mom always stood in. Once I complained to her, why do other dads show up, but mine never does? Mom would say, Dad's busy working, making money. He's exhausted. Clara, you need to be understanding, don't bother him. I really believed her. Until one day, I proudly showed Dad my first-in-class certificate, hoping he'd praise me. Without even lifting his eyes, he frowned. Are all the boys at your school idiots? Can't believe they let you come out on top. I stared at him in disbelief. To him, I only topped because the boys were dumb? Fine, I have work to do. Go to your mom if there's something you need. His tone casual, but I felt the impatience. Instinctively, I stepped back, releasing my hold, letting the certificate drift to the floor. Dad headed to his study, his slippers brushing the paper, leaving a faint mark. I crouched to retrieve it, but tears fell first, staining the sheet. Clara, now just a blurred smudge unreadable. After that, I kept my distance from Dad. Now whatever little bond we had was gone. I glanced around, not seeing Mom. Good thing. She didn't have to see me get slapped. It would break her heart. Aimlessly, I walked down the street. Then the skies opened up, pouring rain. With no umbrella, I huddled under a ledge. Called Mom several times, no answer. Water collected on the road, tinged red with who knows what filth. The image of blood on Carrie flashed in my mind, and I dry heaved. When I finally got home, Mom wasn't around. No idea where she went. By evening, Dad returned with a face like thunder. Avoiding more confrontation, I hid in my room. Soon I heard Mom come home. She was having a fight with Dad, and I snuck over to the stairs. Was it you who sent Clara to our company? Your daughter is something else. Not only did she embarrass me in front of everyone, but she also caused Carrie to lose the baby. I fed her, clothed her, and all for what? A traitor. Dad scoffed repeatedly. You think this means I'll just come crawling back home? Let me tell you, there are plenty of women out there. Without Carrie, I can still find someone else to bear my son. Mom shed tears, feeling wronged. It's not my fault. I was out all day, and Clara went to school in the morning like usual. How was I supposed to know she'd suddenly run to your company? I stood there, my breath caught, unable to move. It was clearly Mom who wanted me to do all this. Why was she acting clueless now? Humph, a daughter this treacherous, and yet you refused to have a son for her sake. Watch out. One day she might backstab you too. Dad sneered, his face tense. This daughter, I can't handle her. From now on, she's your problem. With that, Dad slammed the door and left the house. Mom tried to stop him, but failed, standing dejectedly on the spot. She stared blankly at the door for a long time, sighed deeply, and turned back inside, only to see me standing at the stairs. Mom awkwardly opened her mouth, but no words came out. I didn't even know why I hadn't walked away. Maybe I wanted an explanation, or to give one. I spoke up, Mom. It's okay. I know you didn't want Dad to argue with you because of this. I get it. She looked surprised for a moment, then relaxed. Clara, you're so understanding. I didn't refuse to have another child for nothing. It ended up just making space for other women. But thankfully it all worked out. I took her arm and said seriously, Mom, I know you are the best to me in this world. Only you treat me well. Dad eventually moved back home, looking defeated. The company thought the incident was bad for morale, so they canceled his annual bonus and reassigned him. Carrie resigned under pressure after the miscarriage, disappearing completely. Mom smiled again, flaunting to me quietly, Sweetie, isn't Mom smart? You caused a stir, and Dad came running back. I opened my mouth, but still didn't know how to respond. She didn't mind, humming as she went to her bedroom to put on makeup. Mom, as long as you're happy. Mom returned to her old self. Every day she dressed up perfectly, had the housemaid prepare lots of dishes, eagerly waiting for Dad to come home and eat with us. But every day, Dad came home with a cold face, going straight to the guest room, not eating or talking with us. To him, Mom and I seemed like we were invisible. Even though Mom tried several times to make amends, Dad was still indifferent. Finally, Mom couldn't take it anymore. Felix, what do you want exactly? Dad looked up, mocking. Nothing much, I'm just not interested in you. Do you think you're still young, dressing up like this? Take a look in the mirror at all those wrinkles. Mom shook with anger, unable to stand, bending over, taking deep breaths. I rushed to support her, but Dad didn't spare me a glance, turning into his room. Mom leaned on me, crying out loud, Clara, you're all I have now. I felt a bad feeling, like Dad really had no plans to stay with Mom. Mom, don't worry. I'll always be here for you. She didn't reply, just cried on my shoulder. A few months later, Dad silently left home with his suitcase. He left thoroughly, even quitting his job. No one knew where he went, he was completely out of reach. Mom, lost in despair, lay at home all day drinking. When she did sober up, she'd cling to me, cursing Dad over and over. I couldn't leave her like that. I pretended to be sick to skip school and take care of her. A week later, a court notice arrived. Dad was suing for divorce. Felix, you bastard. Mom screamed, throwing a wine bottle at the floor. Shattered glass flew everywhere. I couldn't dodge all of it, Several pieces cut into my calf and I bled. She didn't even notice. It hurts, I weakly cried out. Mom didn't react. She seemed to remember something, hurriedly grabbing her phone to make a call, slipping on her shoes, and heading out. I felt uneasy and called out, "Mom, where are you going?" Mom paused for a moment, but kept on walking out of sight. I sat there, struggling to clean my wounds with cotton swabs. It was so quiet. The creeping fear of being alone overwhelmed me. What if I'm left all alone in this house? No, I still have Mom. She wouldn't just leave me. That night, Mom finally came back, again smelling of alcohol with flushed face. "Mom, you're finally home." She'd found an old classmate, who was a lawyer, to help with the divorce case for free. She patted my face, humming as she went upstairs. Maybe she lost hope in Dad, but found new purpose with the divorce. Mom soon quit drinking. Her mood got lighter, and she hardly ever mentioned Dad anymore. It felt like it was no big deal, that there was one less person at home. I let out a sigh of relief, thinking from now on, it'd just be Mom and me, living quietly. When the court date for the divorce came, she took me with her. Surprisingly, there wasn't much back and forth. Dad and Mom agreed on the property division easily. They both seemed eager to end the marriage. My family was really about to fall apart. Then came the custody issue. Dad was the first to say he'd give up custody. "She's a girl, better off with her mom. I'll pay child support." I kind of expected it, but hearing him give me up so casually still stung a little. Whatever, I sighed. At least Mom's still with me. Just when I was about to tell the judge my preference, Mom cut in urgently. "I don't want custody of Clara either. I'm just a housewife, no income, and I can't take care of her. She'll have a better life with Dad." My heart clenched, and I snapped my head up, unable to believe my ears. "Mom, did you say that wrong? How could you not want me?" I was shaking, shouting frantically at her. Mom turned her face slightly, not responding. "Mom, you said you only have me, and I only have you. We promised to live well together. Why? Why don't you want me all of a sudden?" My vision blurred, tears pouring down uncontrollably, hitting the ground one after another. There was no answer. Panicking, I glanced around. Everyone else avoided eye contact with me. Finally, I realized the truth. My parents had swiftly come to an agreement about the property. For my custody, they had reached a different kind of consensus. No one wants me. In the end, it was Dad who relented, saying I could live with him. But when he said it, his look was full of disgust, like he was looking at trash he couldn't get rid of. As we walked out of the courthouse, a surprising figure approached us. Carrie, who'd been missing for a while, came up, smiling as she clung to Dad's arm, and Grandma, who should be living at the family home, followed behind them. "Take it easy. Watch out for my future grandson." In that moment I understood. No wonder Dad suddenly wanted a divorce after a few months. Carrie was pregnant again. He agreed to take me so it wouldn't take too long for the baby to be born. Clenching my fist in my pocket, I glanced ahead at Mom. Even though she didn't want me anymore, she was chatting animatedly with that old lawyer friend, paying no attention to me. I stopped on the steps, standing still. Everyone else kept moving. No one noticed me. I was the only one left behind. When it was time to part, Mom finally remembered me. Her eyes reddened as she hugged me briefly. "Clara, don't blame Mom. Seeing you reminds me of your disgusting father. I'll come back for you when I'm feeling better." I didn't respond, just gently broke out of her embrace. She and the lawyer walked away, not looking back. I went back to the old house with Dad. No, it was just the old house. The people inside were different. Mom was gone, replaced by Carrie, and a grandmother meant to help her. Carrie had confirmed in Hong Kong that she was having a boy. I knew my place here. I wasn't supposed to exist. Even though I tried to stay in my room unless I was at school, it wasn't long before I was subtly kicked out. The reason came after Carrie found a patch of oil on the kitchen floor one morning. Clara did it. She wants me to fall and lose the baby again. She screamed hysterically, bringing Dad and Grandma in. She sneaks into the kitchen at night. I saw it on the living room cameras. Dad didn't say a word, just slapped me. "Clara, isn't one attempt enough? You have to try again." I didn't, I protested. I was hungry, so I went into the kitchen. Grandma only gives me a bowl of vegetable porridge at night. How could I be full? My cheek burned with pain as I tried to defend myself. Grandma dismissed me with a sneer. What do you need good food for, girl? Uffed. I picked up an instant noodle wrapper from the trash. I'm not lying. Enough, Dad said coldly. You've done it before. This wrapper proves nothing. I'll find you a boarding school soon. Behave yourself while you're still here. Carrie smirked at Grandma, who feigned a cough. I understood it all immediately. Looking at Dad, I realized he was using this to get back at me. I kept my head down, forcing back tears, clenching my fists. Whatever, I said. Soon, I was notified that a new school was found. Carrie gleefully told me it was a remote boarding middle school, where you could only come home once a month. I heard it's full of unruly kids. Perfect for you, she said, sipping bird's nest soup with a grin. I gave a cold laugh, replying, even unruly kids have more dignity than a college graduate turned homewrecker with no shame. A piece of trash not even having a marriage certificate, and just used to produce a son, doesn't have the right to lecture me. With a crash, the bowl she threw at me fell to the ground. I dodged. The unfinished bird's nest soup smeared the floor with shards of porcelain. Carrie's face twisted with rage. You're just as despicable as your mother. On my stomach. She clutched her belly, crawling to find Grandma in the bedroom. I walked away expressionless. I'm really concerned about what Carrie said about the school situation. My middle school was one of the best in the city, very disciplined, and I was a top student, ranking in the top 10. If Dad actually transfers me to the school Carrie mentioned, he must really hate me enough to want to ruin me. I went online to look up information about that middle school and sat frozen in my chair for a long time. Carrie was right. I anxiously bit my knuckles, wondering what to do. Mom, only Mom can help me now. I called Mom several times and finally it went through. Mom, it's Clara, I said carefully. Oh, it's Clara, she replied. Since the court separated us, Mom hasn't been in touch. Many times, I've wanted to call her, but thinking about how she gave up custody, I didn't. After more than a month, hearing her voice again brought tears to my eyes. Clara, I'm overseas now. It's the middle of the night here. Is something wrong? She asked. Mom, sorry to bother you. Dad wants to transfer me to a boarding school with a bad reputation. Suddenly, I heard a girl scream and cry, and a boy laughing in the background through the phone. Sweetie, you woke up, huh? Don't bully your sister, she said, obviously not to me. Who were they? Why did Mom call someone else's kid sweetie? Clara, since your dad has custody, I can't really interfere. You're a big girl now. You should be able to take care of yourself. Let's talk when I'm back, alright? Mom sounded irritable, eager to end the call. No, Mom, wait. I really need you to step in this time. Clara, I can't talk now. I'm busy here, she cut off, leaving me hanging with the beeping tone. Thinking of that school's reputation, I bit my lip, then called her again 10 minutes later. She hung up immediately, then turned off her phone. I blankly put down my phone and spoke to the air, finishing what I hadn't a chance to say. Mom, can you help me out? I don't want to transfer schools. I miss you. When will you come to see me? Only the cold night breeze answered through the window, snuffing out my lingering affection for Mom. I had no power to resist, and was transferred to the new school. It was just as bad as the rumors said. With its poor reputation and test scores, they struggled to enroll students, so they only had 4 classes a grade. Most students were just wasting time. My academic focus made me an oddball. Clara, this is the latest exam paper from a top school. Take it back and work on it. The principal called me to his office, handing me a stack of papers. Maybe the universe felt bad for me, and threw a bit of luck my way. The investors feared the school's closure, and spent a lot to hire a new principal from a leading middle school. They said when he saw the preliminary test scores, he downed heart pills one after another. But he relaxed when he saw my paper, seeing me as the school's hope. He spoke with me in depth, promising to provide the best possible study conditions. To avoid distractions, he switched me to a single dorm room. I studied day and night. Despite the school faculty's shortcomings, and the relative ease of entrance exams, I still had a shot. A life with no one to rely on means forging your own path. The school had strict management, allowing 1 visit home a month. But I never went back the entire semester. At the end, with winter break starting, we all had to leave. I realized my Instagram only had a pitiful $10 left when I checked. It hit me then, Dad never sent me any pocket money. The school was remote, not accessible by public transport, and with no one to pick me up, I could only hitch a ride with a classmate's family. When I finally got home, the house was empty. It wasn't until night I reached Dad by phone. They'd gone back to the family home, and I just learned Carrie had a son recently. After the postpartum period, Dad couldn't wait to gather everyone and return for ancestral rituals. I wanted to ask if he and Grandma remembered me at school, alone, without money or anyone to rely on. I bit back my words, not wanting to humiliate myself. He seemed to know what I was thinking, sneered. We're not coming back until after New Year. Go spend it with your mom. She's back, didn't you know? Aren't you too close? He laughed mockingly and hung up. I was stunned, feeling my heart sink. Since the last call, Mom hadn't reached out, as if forgetting she had a daughter. Just months ago, we'd clung to each other for support. Even after the heartbreak, I found myself thinking of her. When my phone rang suddenly, it was Mom calling. All my disappointment and hurt vanished in a second. Clara, it's Mom. How have you been? Her voice was gentle, free from the irritation of before, like when we were together. Part of me wanted to defiantly ask why she remembered me now, but instead, tears welled up uncontrollably. Mom, I'm not okay, not at all. Mom, I miss you so much. Emotions bottled up for so long found their release. Clara, how about I take you out for the day tomorrow? It's the weekend. I was so excited I couldn't sleep. Maybe Mom had settled down and decided to take me in. When we finally met, she seemed much younger, full of life. Sweetie, why are you so skinny? Your hair's a mess. As a young lady, you need to take better care of your appearance, she said, scrutinizing me with wide eyes. Mom, I'm sorry. It's because things haven't been great with Dad. Come on, let's go. I'll take you out to get a makeover. My mom interrupted me, eagerly pushing me to get a haircut and some new winter dresses and coats. Mom, I have enough clothes. You don't have to spend any more money. I felt a mix of emotions, grateful but also guilty because I had misunderstood her before. When she talked about the divorce, she meant it when she said she'd rather not see me as a reminder of my dad. She was still the mom who loved me most. During dinner, I couldn't stop talking. Mom, I'm never full when I'm at Dad's. He doesn't give me any allowance and leaves me alone at home. And Carrie, she's in cahoots with Grandma and Dad. They sent me to that boarding middle school. I was eager to share my feelings, hoping she'd finally say what I longed to hear. Clara, you've been through enough. Let's live together from now on. But Mom just listened quietly, sometimes joining in to badmouth Dad and Grandma. I couldn't tell what her plans for me were. Then, she suddenly called out to me, with a bit of a shy smile. Clara, I've got some good news. Mom's getting married. I lost my grip on the chopsticks, and they fell to the floor. My mind went blank, filled only with panic. Mom was going to have her own new family, just like Dad. What about me? I couldn't process anything she said after that. My ears only caught random words. Twins, boy and girl. I suddenly remembered the loud noises during her phone calls. I'd realized she was too busy taking care of the twins to listen to me. Would I still matter to her? Mom, will you still have time for me? Will I still live with you? I finally couldn't hold back and asked the question I'd been harboring all day. I held my breath, bracing for the verdict. Mom mumbled, honey, give me some time. Let me sort things out with these two kids. Even a fool could see she wasn't telling the whole truth. It felt like a cold wave had poured into me, freezing me to the core. Clara, this weekend, Mom's marrying Uncle Henry. He knows about you and wants you to come. Mom wants you there too, to witness the start of my new life. Tears welled up, and I blurted out, Mom, why don't you check out my new life first? She was silent for a while, then complained softly, Clara, I just want to include you in my happy moments. Don't you want to give Mom your blessing? I ended up going to the wedding, wearing the new clothes Mom bought me. She said, Clara, you're my only blood relative. I only have you. That got to me. The wedding was at the most expensive 5-star hotel in town. Mom and the groom came towards me full of joy. She wore a beautiful white dress, and he looked well dressed and familiar with those glasses. I suddenly remembered, it was the lawyer friend who helped Mom with her divorce. Turns out, While I was dreaming of living alone with Mom, she'd already figured out her next chapter in life. A bitter taste rose in my throat that I couldn't shake off. "Clara, you made it. This is Uncle Henry." Mom introduced us quickly, then hurried me over to the main table. "Mom, I've brought Clara. She's a top student in the best school here, top 10 in her grade, a piano level 8, and she dances. I raised her myself and took care of her studies," Mom proudly told a dignified older woman, whom I guessed was Henry's mom. "Clara, say hello to Grandma," Mom urged. Henry's mom glanced at me with an unfriendly look. "No need. I don't consider her mine. But you've done well raising her. She's old enough to stop needing you. Focus on your other kids now." Mom quickly nodded. "Absolutely, Mom. I'll treat them as my own." I sat quietly, listening as Mom used me as an example to brag about her parenting skills to Henry's family. So that's why my presence was so necessary for her. Funny thing was, she'd completely forgotten I had transferred to a new school. Henry's twins were about 5 or 6, all dolled up and adorable. Just after a couple of dishes, the boy suddenly shouted, "I don't want to see her. She's a freeloader." His eyes wide, pointing straight at me. "Get rid of her. If she doesn't leave, I won't eat." His sister joined in crying, "I won't eat either. Make her go away." Mom quickly hugged her to comfort her. "Okay, sweetheart, we'll ask her to go. Don't cry. She's not our sister," the boy insisted, hopping mad across the table. Mom nodded in agreement. All right, whatever you say." I just quietly looked down, taking a bite of food without tasting it. Suddenly, there was a loud crack on my head. A sauce dish slid down my new dress, shattering at my feet. The vinegar-smelling sauce mixed with blood dripping from my head, staining everything. I felt utterly gross. Overwhelmed, I heard Mom and others exclaiming in shock. "Ha ha ha, she's so funny, like a wet chicken." The boy's voice was young, but full of malice as he clapped his hands in glee. "Henry, what are you doing? Apologize now," Uncle yelled at his son. "Wow, you're mad at me, Dad?" The boy dodged eagerly into his grandma's arms, pretending to cry. There were no actual tears, just challenging eyes looking back at me. No one scolds my grandson. Grandma didn't look happy, consoling him while glancing at me and Mom. "It's okay. With his little strength, probably just a scratch for Clara." "Clara, reassure your uncle that it's fine." Mom chimed in to ease the tension. She looked at me with a pleading expression, tears shimmering in her eyes. I suddenly remembered when she asked me to work at Dad's company. She had the same look. She always knows how to get to me, as long as I still love her. I forced a reluctant smile, swallowing back my tears. "Yeah, it's fine, Mom. I just need to hit the restroom." I turned away, feeling a mess, and walked out. No surprise, Mom didn't stop me. She was busy smiling and catering to that guy. In that moment, I realized, just like with Dad, there was no place for me in Mom's world either. "Goodbye, Mom." "Clara, you can't leave by yourself." Someone held me back. A warm hand brushed my hair aside. "You should go to the hospital. You probably need a few stitches." I turned around, surprised, and found an elderly woman with kind eyes. "Clara, I'm your grandmother. Don't you remember me?" That's when I remembered. She was Grandpa's second wife, and the uncle who came today was her son. Since Grandpa passed 7 years ago, Mom never took me to visit her again. Mom probably ran out of relatives to invite, so she asked them over. They were seated far away, so I hadn't noticed them earlier. Even if I had, they were almost strangers to me now. She looked at the wound on my head with genuine concern. Grandma gently said, "Your mom's tied up right now. Your uncle's gone to get the car. We'll take you to the hospital." I followed Grandmother out, feeling no attachment whatsoever. After getting 3 stitches at the hospital, Grandma treated me to a meal and had Uncle buy me new clothes. "Clara, it's really disappointing your dad left you home alone. Once these men find a new family, they forget about being a real dad." She seemed like she wanted to say something else about Mom, but stopped and just sighed. "Clara, why don't you come live with me?" I shook my head. "Thank you, Grandma, but it's okay. I didn't want to be anyone else's burden anymore." She sighed again. "Clara, I held you when you were a baby. You had big, bright eyes and you smiled at me. You were the sweetest child I've ever seen. You call me Grandma, so you're my family. If you don't want to come now, I won't force you. But during the new year, I'll have your uncle pick you up, so we can all be together. She lovingly patted my hair. I felt tears welling up. I couldn't refuse her kindness any longer. Okay, thanks, Grandma. When I got back to the dark, empty house, I didn't turn on the lights. No one remembered that today was actually my birthday. Happy 15th birthday, Clara. From now on, it's just you, so find a new way to live. The next morning, I rummaged through my stuff for old red envelopes and broke open my piggy bank, finding about $1,200. Not enough. I snapped a picture of the flat-screen TV and fancy furniture in the living room. Dad, I'm out of money. If I don't get a $4,000 transfer in 5 minutes, I'm calling the recycling guys over. I'll also let the property management know you have a new wife and son, and are trying to starve your daughter. Not even a second later, his call came in, which I ignored. I received several voice messages on Instagram, which I promptly deleted. I typed in the recycler's number from Grandma's fridge magnet into my phone, and sent him another pic. I changed my mind. You have 10 seconds now. Better hurry. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Right when I hit 5, I got the transfer. And a big message saying roll. I threw my head back and laughed, laughing so hard I cried. With those few $1,000, I had a comforting winter break. I got pretty good with cooking. Went from just instant noodles and frozen meals, to whipping up some basic dishes. I kept up with study guides, and took advanced classes during the break. Didn't slack off. On New Year's Eve, Uncle actually came to pick me up. I stayed at Grandma's till the second day of the new year. Had to get back for school prep. At first, I didn't want to stay over at her place at all. But Grandma kept chatting with me on Instagram, until we were like buddies, forcing me to stay a couple of nights. Sometimes, it felt a bit amusing to me. My own mom never contacted me, even knowing I went to the hospital and spent New Year's alone. Dad definitely didn't bother to check up on me either. Yet these two, who weren't blood-related at all, gave me such a warm holiday, just because I called them Grandma and Uncle. Guess I must have upset him, because even when winter break ended, and I went back to school, neither Dad nor Grandma came home. I had to reach out first. Dad, remember to wire me $2,000 for living expenses on the 1st of every month, or I'll pay a visit to your company. Maybe share some tales about the big boss's new love story with his wife. Attached a copy of a business card I found in Dad's office and sent it. I hadn't intended to ask for more money. Too much, and I'd risk becoming a slacker like those no-good classmates, lost in their games and parties. For a kid like me, with no one to rely on, studying hard, and getting into a good college is the only path I can take. During the summer before the big middle school exams, Grandma dangled a big hook to get me to her place. I checked for you. That neighbor Nolan is willing to tutor you for the summer. That's my weakest subject. Nolan was a retired language teacher, so having him help me out was a real blessing. Grandma's house was tidy. No fancy gadgets, but comfy and welcoming. The usual residents were just us two, plus a longtime pet cat, Snowball. Uncle would visit once or twice a month. His life and work were elsewhere. I spent the whole summer at Grandma's, helping her with chores, doing my homework and living contently. Grandma wouldn't take the money I tried to give her. What does an old lady need so much cash for? Besides, your company keeps me healthy and cuts down on my medical bills. Sniffling, I sincerely said, Grandma, I'll always come to keep you company. Every weekend after that, I'd head over to Grandma's. At the parent-teacher meeting in 9th grade, there were lots of forms for parents to sign. My grandma, wearing her reading glasses, was carefully checking everything for me. With her, I really felt that warm family vibe. After the high school entrance exams, I hardly saw my parents. Grandma and I never talked about them. Once during a big cleanup, I stumbled upon a photo frame she had hidden away. It was a picture of me as a kid with my parents. I spaced out looking at it for a bit, then gently wiped the dust off and put it back. I did pretty well in the entrance exams, topping the class. Even chatted with some of my old middle school friends. They said I would have been in the top 10 there too. I got accepted into the city's best high school. I was super excited to tell Grandma. The phone rang for a while before she picked up. Clara, Grandma fell this morning. She's at the hospital for a checkup. I rushed to the hospital to find her feistily arguing from her bed. It's just a small fracture. Can't we just get a helper? Why do I have to move and live with you? You know I don't get along with your wife. And what about Clara? She's just starting high school. What will she do without me? She has parents. You don't need to worry so much. You're living alone, Grandma. What if I hadn't visited today? How long would you have been on the floor? Grandma went silent, knowing he was right. I kept my head down, quietly standing outside the room, not wanting to interrupt. Some tears dropped on the floor. Clara, it'll be just you again. Before Grandma left, she asked him to give me the house keys. I asked Nolan to take care of the dog. Check on it when you can. I'll definitely be back someday. The house can't be empty for too long. So come back during holidays and weekends to look after it. And remember, if you ever need anything, come to me. As long as I'm alive, I'm still your grandma. Those 3 high school years, it was all about school and chatting with Grandma on Instagram. In the second half of junior year, the school recommended me for a citywide English speech contest, and I snagged first place. When the photos from the award ceremony went online, I got a bit of recognition. See, I didn't just get my dad's brains. I got my mom's looks too. A couple of reporters interviewed me, asking why I love learning English. After pondering a bit, I smiled and said, my dad runs an English education platform, so he influenced me a lot. His name's Felix and his company is. Quickly, the piece caused quite a buzz online, even leading some reporters to interview Dad. He didn't miss the chance to boast about his educational ideas and our close father-daughter relationship. His platform's popularity soared. What do you want, Clara? He sure caught on quickly. Senior year calls for a lot of parent involvement, forms, signatures, meetings. I want you to be more proactive. Nolan's been helping me scrape by, saying he was my tutor. But it's not fair to keep bothering him so much now. And about my monthly allowance, please cover what you've missed and reimburse my tutoring costs. After the entrance exams, the principal awarded me a scholarship as promised. That's what's been keeping me afloat. Dad's company has grown, making it not so easy to cause a fuss. He must have figured that out too. I haven't seen that $2,000 a month allowance in ages. Even my tuition and lodging fees have been on me. How about you just send me enough to cover 4 years of college tuition and living expenses? I'll sign a 1-year contract with you like an ad deal. I can help promote you without it affecting my studies. After a 10-second pause, Dad chuckled over the phone. Clara, today I realized you really are my daughter. I'll meet your demands. And after college, come work for me. When your brother grows up, maybe you can help guide him. I scoffed. Brother? I don't know a brother. That almost 4-year-old, who can't talk straight and walks wobbly? You mean the 80-pound baby? 2 years ago, Dad divorced again, lost interest in his secretary after finding success. That son is with his grandma now, growing bigger, not smarter. Guess that hit a nerve. Dad hung up immediately. But he sent the money anyway. For now, I'm the best live ad his company's got. I figured that was the end of it. But a few days later, Mom decided to join the party too. Clara, do you have some time to visit Mom? Hearing her voice caught me off guard. After the wedding, all our communication had been generic Instagram messages every once in a while. You need something? Clara, didn't you always want to live with me? Why not spend your weekends and holidays here? Her voice was eager, even desperate, like she genuinely wanted us to reunite. Really? After 3 years, motherly love suddenly kicks in? Yeah, right. Just tell me what you want. I snapped back, trying to focus on a mountain of homework. After a bit of rambling, she spilled the truth. Your Uncle Henry's kids have been struggling in school. Tutors haven't helped. Maybe you can teach them? I laughed, well, more like snorted. Wasn't one hit on the head enough? Now I should willingly ask for more? As if the Henry family couldn't just hire tutors. That line triggered Mom to start some rant. Your Uncle Henry's ex-wife came back from abroad. Those ungrateful kids are choosing her over me. The family matriarch blames me for not raising them well, and favors the woman now. Clara, I need your help. Mom, let me tell you a story. I started slowly. She didn't catch on, so I kept going by myself. Once upon a time, there was a kind lady who married a widower and treated his daughter as her own, even better than her own child. She carefully took care of her. But when the man got seriously ill, The daughter convinced him to leave all his property to her. After he died, this daughter never visited the lady again. Only when she needed a family appearance for her remarriage did she use the lady again. Mom, do you think that girl's a backstabber? Is it karma that she met another backstabber? Mom's voice was shaky, probably from anger. I heard the busy tone in my phone. Just like Dad, a couple of provoking words and she'd hang up. Later, I told Grandma about my big accomplishments, and she laughed so hard she cried. Clara, thanks for taking my side. I used to hold on to a bit of family feeling, but seeing how she treated you, she deserved to be scolded. Clara, you've really gotten strong. Yeah, Grandma. I have to keep getting stronger. Living without anyone to rely on, you need to put on the toughest armor to shield your soft and fragile core, to be unstoppable. After I got into my dream university, I kept living solo. Interestingly, my relationship with my parents started to get complicated. Every now and then, they would reach out to me first. Dad, being a businessman, saw my value and wanted to use it. Clara, you're kinda a small-time influencer now. If you team up with my platform, I can help you become a big star. I politely declined. When I was a freshman, a candid pic of me studying in the library went viral. For the second time, I was famous for my looks and brains. This time, I used the attention to become a study blogger. Over the years, I gained a steady following. Even if it's not your main interest, just like before, I pay you to drive traffic to my brand. Save it, Dad. Before, I asked you for money to make you stick to your dad duties. Now I'm not interested. Your platform's been getting bad reviews, and will probably shut down soon. I don't want to earn money that way. I thought he'd hang up quickly like before, but this time he held on. You know my company's not doing well, so why not help out? Remember, my money will be yours and your brother's someday. No thanks. I'm afraid you'll be broke before I even graduate. Keep some for your son, who barely passed elementary school. I'm afraid he'll end up picking trash for a living. Finally, he fell into his familiar pattern and hung up. I didn't care about his son's grades, just making conversation. Looks like I hit a sore spot. I heard he's been swapping girlfriends all these years. Maybe he's too old now to have made another little brother. Mom's had some changes too. Uncle Henry's ex-wife came back, pushed her out of the stepmom role, and forced a divorce. Clara, Mom's homeless again, she cried to me on the phone. She didn't get any benefit from this marriage. Henry's family had already tied up the assets, leaving her empty-handed and spending more. I offered a bit of patience, listened to her a bit, but that was it. A month ago she got married again. This time to someone older. With just one grown son, she's got it easier. Clara, I was wrong before, don't be mad at me. Let's spend more time together, I'll make it up to you. She suddenly showed up at my college, holding my hand and not letting go. Compared to last time she got married, Mom looked worn out. Her facial muscles were stiff, and when she talked, her mouth skewed to one side. Probably too much cosmetic work. Mom wants you to meet my husband and stepson. They're waiting outside campus. Let's have a meal. They're nice, you'll like them. I didn't want to deal with her, but she wouldn't leave. To not miss class, I agreed. As soon as we sat down, I felt uneasy. The bald stepson in his 30s kept scanning me, his mouth running nonstop. Clara, you're too skinny. I prefer girls with more weight. But I like your face. Stop being an influencer. I don't like my girlfriend out in the public. I squinted, staring at Mom. Mind explaining what he's talking about? Clara, my son saw your picture and liked you. I think you're pretty and educated, suits my son just right. So, I thought your mom could bring you to meet us. Maybe you two can get closer. Mom's new husband, being a know-it-all for his age. I kept my gaze on Mom's eyes. They flickered, just like years ago. She turned away, pretending she didn't hear my question. So, you came not to mend our relationship, but to set me up with your stepson? I chuckled, knocked the table over and left. Outside the restaurant, I touched my face. Dry. With no expectations, there's no disappointment or pain. Later on, Dad's foolish son grew up. Learned to skip school, fight bully classmates, all sorts of drama were frequent. Dad had no choice but to send him away for school. It didn't work, he got into drugs. Dad had to bring him back, force a detox. After rehab, He got entangled with law enforcement for repeated fights, harassing women. Dad's hair turned white, part stress from the company, part from him. He still had some money, even in old age, living it up with booze and women. When drunk, he turned into a grumpy old man who liked to call and vent to me. I basically never answer my phone unless he sends me a big red envelope. I leave the phone next to me, doing my own thing, letting him talk himself to sleep. That's just how it is with us, a simple money relationship. Mom also likes to bug me one-sidedly. Her third marriage isn't going well. To maintain her marriage, she spent all her savings to buy her stepson a house. But even after that, those two still curse her out, and sometimes even get physical. Almost every day, she bombards me with dozens of Instagram messages, complaining about her lousy life. When I'm in the mood, I'll reply after a few days, then you should just get divorced. It's just copy-paste, doesn't take any effort. My parents, after all these years, have found common ground again. As they're getting older, they've realized I'm the daughter they abandoned long ago, but now the only one they can rely on. Even though they know they're not exactly welcome in my life, they're still persistent, hoping to get a bit of warmth and feedback from me. Funny how things turn around. Now all the pain, resentment, and injustice I felt in my youth can go right back to them, purely as payback. And then I can let it go. Dad had a mild stroke at 65. It was the doctor from the hospital who called me. The patient had a sudden illness, and there was no one else around. We can't reach any other relatives except for you. I frowned, figuring it out in my head. Dad's single now, and Grandma passed a few years ago after being pushed by her precious grandson. His golden boy has gotten in trouble again. So yeah, it kinda makes sense I'm the only one left to call. Alright, I'll head over quickly. No need to add to the hospital's burdens. Once he finished his treatment, I placed him in a community nursing home. Not long after, Mom and her third husband finally had a fight they couldn't come back from. Clara, I'm divorced now. I'm never marrying again. Come and get me. Just like that. I also brought her to the nursing home, putting her in the same room as Dad. At least they know each other. I thought I was doing pretty well, but too bad. Neither of them appreciated it. Clara, we went our own ways for our own lives, and left you without a home. We owe you. Your father and I have talked. If you're willing to take us out of the nursing home, and live with us, we'll get remarried and live as a family again. We've even discussed writing a will to ensure everything goes to you. I went to the restroom for just a moment, and when I came back, Mom was giving this blockbuster speech with a self-righteous look, like she was making a massive sacrifice for me. Dad sat there with a frown, looking obviously displeased, yet he didn't argue back. These two, who were just at each other's throats like fighting cockfights, now joining forces for a remarriage. I'm amazed. It's too late, Mom. Oh, and I have news for both of you. I flashed them a big toothy grin. I'm leaving the country tomorrow, not coming back unless it's absolutely necessary. I've prepaid for 14 years at the nursing home. Consider it paying back the 14 years you took to raise me. How long you can stay there? Well, that depends on your own luck. As for the idea of our family of 3, I've long given up on such a silly notion. Doesn't Dad have a son? And Mom, you have a knack for raising other people's kids. The 3 of you can form your version of a family, except for when he's in jail. He should be around to keep you company. As for the inheritance, you can leave it to whoever you want. No need to consider me. Frankly, Dad, you've spent years on so many women and blew plenty on your son. Probably nothing much is left, since I'm the one who settled the hospital bills this time around. Mom, after 2 marriages and giving so much plus all these years, your savings can't be much either. So don't try to lure me with inheritances. I'm afraid the debts might outnumber the assets. After I finished talking, both their faces turned furious. Before they could start up their next round of yelling, I stepped out, thoughtfully closing the door behind me. Just as I was about to leave, I heard Mom shriek, "Clara, you'll never be happy." I just chuckled. Thanks to you guys, marriage and love don't hold any allure for me. But someday, if the conditions are right, I might try being a mom, a responsible one who can give a child complete love. As for you guys, life's all about cause and effect. You've made your bed, now lie in it. Good luck to you both. The end.